If I was starting a music career in 2025, there are a few things that I would do before I get going, so I'm going to be sharing some of those things in this video. So as a musician, you kind of want to know what exactly kind of musician you want to be. For example, you could be a stage runner, for example, or a producer, someone in sync, or a music library, a music manager. Because there are so many different careers within the music industry, you want to focus on what kind of musician you want to be. A good way to do this is to look within yourself. Are you an introvert or extrovert? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? For example, if you are an introvert and you generally don't like speaking to people and don't mind closing yourself off for weeks on end, then production sync might be better suited for you, as opposed to someone who's an extrovert and generally needs a social life. Then the networking is something you already are strong at, so you might actually be better as some kind of music liaison or some kind of music publisher, because you are able to create networks. Music managers are also a kind of music career where musicians should be good at interacting with people. So you want to understand what kind of musician you are, what strengths you have, and what kind of career you want to pursue. The very next thing, you want to establish a footprint that you can hold on to and make your own. That's in social media, your own website, and some kind of personality persona. The more natural or more organic this persona or brand is, the easier it would be to maintain it. For example, I'll give you an example with myself. I am a producer. Primarily I work in sync, but I also do some form of education because that links up with my strengths. I know how to do some research and pass it on to the next person. So you want to establish something similarly. You want to, for example, go on to Google and check out similar type of names. So at first, my name was actually Sonokinetic L, and I changed that to simply Skill. And since Skill is a very common name, I had to add Music SA, South Africa. So that's how we got to Skill Music SA, and I use that throughout all the platforms. So if you go onto Google and then you find, let's say your name is Brave. Brave is a very common name, so you might have to add a few things to have a footprint at some kind of brand, such as Braveheart SA, for example. That's just a random example, but you want to have some way people can find you and automatically link it to you. Then you want to start networking and creating your social media platforms and getting somewhat out there. Remember, there is some kind of discrepancy between really good quality type of social media posts and organic ones. The more organic posts tend to be, the better they have a chance of going viral. Think of generally viral videos. It's generally looks very random. There's a lot of natural things happening versus a very top quality type of video like a YouTube type of video or music video. Music videos generally don't have a lot of engagement because they are so polished, but the more organic something seems, generally speaking, the more receptive it is to people on social media. The very next thing is then you want to get to registering yourself with SAMRO, CAPASSO, RISA, and SAMPRA, because these organizations help you get your royalties on the back end. So getting your royalties on the back end helps with long-term money, and I have several videos that show you how to register with these organizations. So you want to register with all of them and get your ISRC from RISA. The next thing, you want to actually focus on the type of music you're making. So if you're making music for sync production or sync and TV, then you don't necessarily need to get a DistroKid account because your because your publisher most likely will be the one distributing the music and putting it out into different places. But if you want to be a stage type performer or a streaming online type of personality, then you want to go and get an account on something like DistroKid or, for example, TuneCore or CD Baby, because those DSPs get your music onto Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, etc. So you need a way of getting your music from your computer into people's phones and ears. That is typically through a DSP such as DistroKid, who gets it on Spotify. And then you also want to have a website so that you can target and kind of concentrate people and bring them into your funnel where you can keep on communicating with them, and then you establish some kind of marketing plan, a communication plan, so that once people hear of you, they'll keep on hearing from you, and you eventually grow some kind of fan base, and then to the infinity and beyond, because after that, that is up to how you set up your business and how you go about getting the different aspects of success within the music career that you want to set out. One thing I would like to highlight: if you don't have a structured business with regards to the music industry, getting a manager will only add a different cog and make more chaotic of your business. So you want to set up your music career and music business such that when someone comes in to manage, they already know exactly what's being done, what you're trying to achieve, and where you're going, so they can manage. The job of a music manager is not to make the foundation, but to carry on driving something that's already moving, and the creator and the owner of the business, which is you as the musician, knows where the ship is going, so that when the manager comes to you and asks, so should we take this sync deal or this sync deal, you are able to tell them, this lines up better with my career than this does, so let's do this. Don't forget, as a music business, that is what you want to achieve: independence, ideally initially, and then if you get big enough, then go ahead and sign with the record label or whatever makes sense to the objectives that you're trying to achieve. If you want to keep contact with me, head over to my website, musicbizbyskill.com, sign up to my newsletter, and I will send you information weekly on how to improve in the music business. Until next time.